Hello, this is Heath Dweft, and I listen to Raconteurs News.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Raconteurs News Preview. It's our new weekly preview show. It's only going to be a little bit of dialogue between myself and Andy, just to let you know what's coming all up on Raconteurs News in the next week. We've got two shows this week. Monday, we've got Ollie Damagard on, and on Tuesday, we're going to be joined by Max Egan. So we'll talk about that, me and Andy. Andy's here with me. How you doing, Andy? All right, mate?
I'm doing very well, thanks, Jason. Yeah, really looking forward to this week. Two top guests. It's been a while since we've had both of them on, and I'm looking forward to hear what updates they've got.
Yeah, it should be very, very interesting. Yeah, and I'm really quite intrigued by this Florida thing that's been going down, and I've seen one or two. There seems to be a real concerted effort to get rid of people who. For people who post things about it are usually gotten rid of it. And if you go online, and I did a search the other day when I was just thinking about wanting something to watch, and I did a search on YouTube for Florida shooting hoax, and nothing, not a single thing. The only thing that came up was news, mainstream media news reports, that sort of thing, and it seems that it's really the censorship's really intensified, and do you think that this might be the one thing that trips them up, and finally people see that's what's going on?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've been listening to quite a few interviews with the dark journalist lately, and he talks about this massive tidal wave of disinformation that's going on, and I think we're right in the middle of it now, and it's almost like they're putting out these sloppy operations. I get the feeling there's some sort of traps built in there for us, and we've got to be a little bit careful about what we jump on, really.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really referring to the incident. I don't know really very much about the incident at all, but I am really intrigued to see how it's playing out in the media, and the psychological effects that it's having on people. And it seems to have, especially in the circle, it seems to be fairly balanced when you know that the rhetoric that is coming from just from the anti-gun, the progressives, they want to ban guns, these kids, and what have you, because then but it seems to be like it still seems to be a certain balance, because I do see a lot of stuff that are pro NRA, and pro guns, and do you know what I think that. They do these things. We know that they do these things, and they set them up, and they want to get rid of people's guns. But again, do they really? Because you see so much pro-gun stuff as well. So is it just so that the argument's always there?
Well, don't you think that the pro-gun, anti-gun argument is one that is clearly so polarised that for people to sit on the fence, people say, "Oh, well, haven't you got a mind? Can't you think for yourself?" So people are really pressured to take one side or the other, and once they do, that is the ultimate absolute divide. It completely divides everybody, because they're either pro or anti-gun, and there's going to be no okay, well, we'll agree to disagree. People just fall out and fight, and it's the same old story getting repeated over and over again. I think that's what maybe some of it is.
Yeah, it is a polarising issue, and people are either for it or against it. But you see the arguments. There's arguments on both sides, as far as I'm concerned. There's arguments on both sides. If it was routine that certain kids or us, whoever, had weapons in a school, like a janitor that's an ex-veteran, he's got a weapon on him, and if something goes down, he's there. He's perfectly able to be able to shoot somebody. But you see, that doesn't. They don't seem to be. It's just like either completely get rid of guns, or don't, because it's not going to be. There's not going to be guns everywhere. So it seems to be anti-gun, all one-sided, if you know what I mean. It's if you're on the, you can't really be on the other side that everyone carries guns, because I mean that's just ridiculous anyway. But to be either, it's so difficult. I mean, for me, guns are disgusting, horrible things. You know, the worst thing about humanity is that we invented something like that. You know, and used it on each other.
Yeah. I think guns have a terrible potential to do harm, maim people, take lives, and all that sort of thing. But it's a simple fact that they exist and they are within society. And for me, if all you've got is the darker elements of society, i.e., criminals, and the people who control us, who want to put us in cages and charges for breathing, if they're the only people that have got guns, I don't see that being a terribly good outcome for those of us that haven't got guns. You know, refer you to Stalinist Russia and Maoist China. You know, there's hundreds of millions of people being genocided over that. So I don't see that as a good outcome, but that's my opinion. I know other people have got other opinions, and there's good friends of mine come down on the other side of the gun debate. I'm not going to fall out with them, but I believe...
No, of course not. That's ridiculous.
The American Constitution, you know, all right, maybe it was written by a bunch of Freemasons, but that Second Amendment is there for a very specific purpose, and it's there to protect against... anybody who wants to do you harm, including your own government. And at the minute, they seem to be right at the top of the list.
Yeah. Everything that causes death or misery is government led. So it's it's just gone.
Yeah, I mean,
if you've got it's, I think somebody said, if you outlaw guns, the only people that have guns are outlaws.
Yeah. And, people cite the number of people that have been killed in America since such and such a date by guns. I would say, well, let's have a look at the number of people who were killed by pharmaceutical medicine, and then argue the case for banning pharmaceutical companies. Because I think you'd save a lot more lives that way than you would by banning guns.
Yeah, and also having a look at the way that people are medicated. Most of these people are always on these psychotropic drugs.
Yeah.
Of one shape, way, or another. So why is the debate not about that? What do we do? Shall we let's have a complete and utter review of all psychological drugs that are issued and prescribed to people, because every single one of them. But then again, somebody would probably argue, well, every single person in America's on one.
Yeah, by design.
You know, the majority of people are on them.
There is a huge number of people now taking, particularly antidepressants. There's the thing. I don't know what it's like with any other people who are listening to this, whether it be in this country or other countries, but if you visit a GP surgery in this country now, they're trying to get you a test for diabetes. My GP last time I visited, have you had a test for diabetes? My question was, what would lead you to suspect that I may have diabetes? Oh, nothing. I said, well, why do the test then? Oh, it's just offering. Okay, you want to give up smoking? No. Well, we've got free help available. I said, well, I've kind of looked at the evidence and I'm really not bothered about giving up. If I want to give up, I will. Thank you. Oh, but we've got free help. And I said, no, it's just a tick box, make more money.
Yeah, of course it is. And it's so, and bear in mind, it's always the stuff that you enjoy that they fucking want you to stop. They don't want you to stop, banging your toe on edge of bed, do they? Because if you don't bang your toe on edge of bed, you'll be all right. No, they want you to stop doing the things that you enjoy: smoking,
Dancing.
drinking. Yeah, dancing. Yeah, they want me to stop dancing.
Well, I think they pretty much achieved their objective there, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they do. It's nuts. I know. I get it all the time. Oh, have you had your flu jab? I said no. Oh, did you see that on the? I saw that today. I was walking around Morrison's, and as you walk in, there's a newsstand with the newspapers on, and you see the headlines, right? On the front is a big picture of Stephen Fry.
Oh yes.
The headline: he's fucking. The flu jab saved my life.
Yeah.
My fucking God! It's the note that cunt won't whore himself for.
I don't think so, no.
Fucking... And then you see his fucking husband, don't you? You see the picture of his husband, who's about fucking, 16?
I've no idea, mate. I see Stephen Fry and I just kind of move on. He's an establishment mouthpiece in my view of things, so I just don't bother listening.
Yeah. You probably do right. And I've been watching Winter Olympics as well. I've got quite into it actually. It's pretty good. It's like real sport, but it's like skidding on and doing real sport while doing a sport while you're skidding. So like football, you go ice hockey, that's and the skidding and bar and that. So it's really good. It's been really good. I watched the curling.
Was Eddie the Eagle on?
The what? Sorry.
Eddie the Eagle, was he on?
No, he weren't. No. He got knocked out in preliminaries, so he didn't jump very far.
He was from your part of the world, wasn't he?
I don't know actually. No, I don't think so.
I seem to have it in the back of my mind he was a Yorkshireman, but I may be wrong. It's a long time ago now.
Listen, if he were a Yorkshireman, he'd have been on calendar once a week, forever until, because that's what we do in Yorkshire. When we get somebody who's a prominent Yorkshireman, we get them on local TV all the time and refer to them as being from Yorkshire. We've had some great ones. We've had Seth Armstrong. He was good. He used to be on Emmerdale Farm.
Oh yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he was funny.
Seth, yeah, remember him. Yeah. What was he called? He was Summit Richards. Anyway, that was his real name.
Stan Richards.
John Richards.
Stan, I think it was.
Stan Richards. That's the right. Yeah. So there we go. That's a proper legend. That's a proper Yorkshire legend. He never left Yorkshire, stayed in Yorkshire, worked in Yorkshire, and were a proper Yorkshire man. That's how you be a Yorkshireman. Not like Michael Parkinson, pissing off down to London and getting all that, and then pretending he's from Barnsley, and then trying to sell us stuff so that you're trying to sell us, right? Over 50s funeral plan. Fucking hell, 50. I'm not thinking about my funeral at 50. And why would I need to think about my fucking funeral? I'm not going to be fucking paying for it, am I? I'm going to be fucking brown bread. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Fucking hell. But, he fucks off. He thinks and he pretends he's all fucking Yorkshire. And that, look at him. He's the worst. This is the worst example of a Yorkshireman ever. Okay? Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh, yes.
He's from fucking Doncaster, right? But he would call it Doncaster. Talk about fucking, Doncaster. What? So that you fit in more with fucking down south people, you fucking ponce. You're from Donny. Fucking Donny. You just be from Donny. Talk like you're from Donny. But he don't know. He fucking lives in Oxfordshire now or somewhere and fucking does fuck all. Complete utter fucking wanker. That's not a Yorkshireman. He has not got the right to call himself a Yorkshireman.
You think he should be banned from claiming that title, do you?
Yeah, well, he shouldn't be able to call himself a Yorkshireman. Much in the same way that Howard Hughes shouldn't be able to call himself a Scouser. He shouldn't be able to call himself a Scouser. He is not a Scouser. Right? He were, first of all, he were born in. He were from Birkenhead, which is not Scouse. That's a woolly back.
Yeah.
That's over the water, right? So he's not a Scouser. Anybody, you know, he always goes back to his. And then when he tries to impersonate a Scouse accent sometimes and it's just in back. I just think, oh my God, you can tell it's so Birkenhead, but it's not very Scouse.
I think Howard Hughes gets away with a lot because he's got that silky smooth voice, hasn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely got his silky smooth voice. Definitely, yeah, a little bit like yours, Andy. Yours is quite silky and smooth.
It's been really weird people saying that about it because it's never been something that's occurred to me. And when I hear recordings of myself, I think I sound like a right carrot crunch. I really do.
Well, we all do. Well, we're all self-critical, aren't we? I listen back and I think I sound like a bald-headed northern tosser. That's an opinionated bald-headed northern tosser. It's just about on his shit. But yeah. Yeah,
but that's why we all love you, Jason.
Well, that's nice to know. That's nice to know. Anyway, so we've done a preview. We've got Ole Damigard on Monday, and on Tuesday we've got Max Egan. Will you be joining me for any of those, Andy, or are you just going to be on the production team?
I'll be on the production team. I'll be Andy if you want me to join in, Jace. I'm easy. Oh
well, listen. If you want to join in, you join in. It's our show anyway, isn't it? We do it between us, so we can. We'll be back on Monday then. That's day after tomorrow. So whatever you're doing, thank you, Andy. Oh, do you want to? Yeah, Andy wants to pipe up.
Just before we go, Jason, we've got a Boom Chat room now on the Raconteurs News website. So for everyone, please give that a try and see how you get on. The easiest way to use it is to get an account on the site. You just give us your email address and password, I think, and then you log into the site, click on the chat room, and click log in with site, and you'll be able to keep your same identity in the chat room. Try and get rid of all the anons that we've been having with Chitango. I don't seem to be able to fix that. So, but the old members of the site, before the site went down for a little while and I had to rebuild it, I think we've lost all those site members. So all the old timers who were registered on the old site, if you can't find your account, you might need to set up a new one. Sorry about that, folks. Other than that, see you Monday.
The beauty of internet radio. All right, yeah, we'll see you on Monday at 7:00, and don't forget to tune in Tuesday as well at 7:00. And do as Andy orders you for the chat room at raconteursnews.com. See you later.